Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. And yes, this is that boom bap breakfast we always giving you. And we're giving you some more today. So I hope you are ready on this beautiful Thursday, April 2nd. Now, let me introduce you to my crew and how we wreck it. Jackie Lukman.
Good morning.
Good morning,
comrades
Jackie.
and comrades.
Comrades.
Mm-hmm. We will commence this show with the singing of the Internationale.
Hey,
No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go. I'm ready for it. Sing. Please. You look like you can sing a little bit.
teeny bit.
Okay.
I'm on this new mission, Ear Doctor.
Really? I love it.
I am. I think I'm on this mission to learn as many versions of the Internationale as I can, because I only know the English, the U.S. Well, technically, it's not U.S. It is English because Billy Bragg is, I think he was British. His version is what most people in the United States know, and the Internationale is like the anthem of socialism.
Oh, thank you, because for all the troglodytes that didn't know, thank you.
We still on that.
Hey, when I learned the word, I like to use it more often.
Yeah.
So it's a song about revolution.
It's a song about workers and peasants uniting, waking up from their slumber of oppression, coming together to fight the exploitative system, and to win for the peace of and the prosperity and equality of all workers. It really is. It's one of my favorite songs, and I actually just learned that the version most of us know in the United States is not the original version of the song. And there are several versions of the song depending on the country.
Oh, that makes
So I think it's a fascinating story, and I really do love the song. So I'm just kind of learning all the versions of the Internationale, and there's a reggae version
Internationale.
that I love.
I bet it's dope.
Oh, it is really good. It's really nice.
I
But
guess the only
go ahead.
revolutionary song we sing over here is "Lift Every Voice and Sing."
I mean, that's a wonderful song.
Yeah.
And people miss that it is because it's sung in a hymn cadence.
Mm-hmm.
The cadence of it. Well, you know what that means.
Yeah, Baptist.
Yeah, so people assume that lift every voice and sing is like this, and another word people misuse, kumbaya, passive. Oh, the holy blacks sing and thank the Lord, we's free. That's not what that song is about at all. That song is a declaration against lynching.
Look at that. Learn something new every day. Remix Morning Show, y'all. We had to sing that song every morning in one of my classes at Morris Brown.
When I was in elementary school, that we didn't sing the national anthem because I went to elementary school over here in the hood.
Hey, nice.
We did not sing the national anthem. We did not pledge allegiance to the flag. We sang Lift Every Voice and Sing. The first stanza of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Boy, when they try to get to that second one, everybody like, could you help us out here?
Huh? Oh yeah. Yeah, nobody knows the second verse.
I tell you who might know the second verse. Come out, Franklin.
Peace.
Oh,
Hi.
hi. Hi, Kamal.
Hi,
Whoa,
I'm sorry, I was
whoa,
waving my
whoa,
flags
Jackie,
for you.
whoa,
Hi,
Jackie.
Kamal.
Let's bring
What?
it down a little bit.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Hi.
worthy of excitement. I'm worthy of being
Yeah,
excited
yeah.
over
Leave
it.
I
me
mean,
alone. This ain't about you. Hi,
I
Kamal.
see.
Hey,
There go
Jackie
that.
girl,
There
how
go
you
that
doing?
love
How you
again. There
doing,
go
girl?
that
How you
that
feeling?
Reese's cup love.
Reese's. When you said Reese's, I thought it was going somewhere else. So I'll take that. Okay, thank
You
you.
like that chocolate and peanut butter?
I thought I was the chocolate one. I thought.
White chocolate.
Wow.
You left the door open, come out. I did not
Wow.
want to. I didn't even want to go there. But
Wow.
you left the door open.
Hiatus. I need a hiatus.
I
What's
think I
good, my
just had a
brother?
mini heart attack.
Mhm.
I seen you on Brokers. I was like, man.
Oh, it already came out?
Yeah, it comes out on the 1st and the 15th for those that
I didn't know
don't
that.
know. Yeah.
I was good on that show. I told them they need to have me back over again. And I need to be a third host.
Oh, here we go.
What do you mean? Here we
Wait,
go. I think I added flavor.
dropped on the days people get paid.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I felt I paid off after all that time period. I was like, it's been years. I've never had me on.
Okay. They said you did
I
a
thought it was
great
like the best
job,
show.
Kamal. Look
Yeah,
at
I thought
that.
it was like their best show.
Okay.
Ever.
What did you
So
talk about?
what were we talking about? Yeah. What were we talking about before Kamal came on that maybe he knows? Because he's seasoned.
He's about what was it? The second verse of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Oh, yeah, that's
No one
right.
knows that. No one knows that. I can do the whole first stanza.
Yeah.
And then there's another part you go like, because in my school we did that then we stopped.
See?
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But no one, I was like, what? Everybody goes like,
Exactly.
high as the listening.
God. That's when they got to bring that paper out. You like, all right, let me read this next verse. Yeah, man. It's a good time. House Community Movement Builders, man. I see y'all making moves. It's looking
We're
good
doing
out
good.
there.
We just added our 10th chapter in Oakland, and then we added an 11th chapter in Tanzania. So our first international chapter, I think I was, talking about it before that it would finally happen, and then we finally dropped. So it's official. We now have an international chapter. We have 10 chapters in the United States. We have other chapters that are forming. So, the idea is that we will keep growing. Both, thank you so much. And all of my hard work. Yeah.
There we go.
Right in front of the person who really helped start the chapter. They were like,
you went all the way out to Tanzania, huh?
They were like, you did a great job. I was like, yeah, it was all me.
Yeah.
And they was like, that's wild. I was like, I'm just joking.
How was Tanzania?
I ain't go to Tanzania.
Wait a minute.
Somebody else went to Tanzania. Somebody else went. But the cool thing is that it's Mama Charlotte and Pete O'Neill, who were Kansas City Black Panther Party members, who went into exile. And then they are the folks who spearheaded starting a chapter for us. And they have, we have some other ideas about some other chapters on the continent in particular. So yeah, I think things are going as well as can be expected. You know what I mean?
Dope. All right.
Oh, I miss y'all in the chat.
Yeah, they all miss you. Oh shit.
Kamafi says hi.
Who also misses me. Yeah.
Yes. So what is it? It's Thursday. It's April. I'll put this guy, he's somebody. I think Latif said about time you put somebody black on the thumbnail. Byron Allen.
Why Byron Allen?
Oh, that's who that is. I'm like, wait a minute.
He's buying stars now.
He's always buying some cut rate bad cable station that no one watches anymore.
So he's acquired 10.7% stake in Stars for $25 million through his investment firm Allen Family Capital.
He used to be a comedian. Did y'all remember he was a comedian?
Yes, but I don't remember his jokes.
He was not funny.
And that's why he's buying up stuff now, because you don't remember.
He was whimsical. You know what I mean? Like he was like the Tom Brady, not Tom. What's the Brady dude?
Wayne Brady.
He was the Wayne Brady of his
Oh,
generation,
wow.
kind of thing with comedy.
Yeah.
He was there. He was like a fixture on black shows, like a guest star, or like the third, the third dude on a thing. What's the dude on Saturday Night Live? The other one who's been around for like 30 years.
Who?
The black guy?
Black guy?
Yeah, exactly. The black guy.
Shay?
He's been around. Who?
Garrett Morris?
No, the one you went way back. You
ain't
I
lying.
did.
I was like, God damn.
I only know one black guy that's been on Saturday
You went
Night
back
Live.
before
Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy. I said
Because
Eddie Murphy. Yeah,
after
Eddie
that
Murphy was
era,
okay.
I stopped watching.
Keenan,
so I don't
isn't it
know who
Keenan?
that is.
Keenan.
Dude, the heavy
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, Keenan.
Yeah,
He's been on
he's
for
like that
30
dude.
years?
Yeah,
Well, not
Keenan
30,
Thomas.
but
Thank y'all. He's like
for a
that
long
dude.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knew his name either. Nobody knew Byron Allen's name. He was just that dude.
But stars ain't really take off like that until 50 Cent started doing Power and all that those different programs on there. So I'm just like, the fact that he's been in control and constantly on his media tip and understanding the power of media, I gotta give him his props. The dude is out here going.
You giving him props?
The dude is going from a comedian to buying up media, understanding the power of media. Like, what are you going to do with it now that you buying up all this media? Like,
he owns the Weather Channel.
y'all niggas trying to figure out what to wear when they go outside.
You know what else he owns? Wait
What?
a minute. Let me show you what he owns.
God, his crew said more praises to the bosses.
Let me show you what else he owns.
2 days of this.
There you go. That's what else he owns right there.
Oh, here we go.
How did I know this was
That's what else he owns. That's you praising.
Oh,
Where do you think that money going
man.
to? You think that
Wait
money
a minute,
going
is that Lucas? Like, is Lucas' daughter that do the films?
I don't know. And who cares?
Okay. Look at that.
First of all,
Married good, boy, married.
he's
That has nothing to do with George Lucas.
I see where he got that money from. Okay, go ahead.
oh my God. You just anyway. First, he's not buying stars. Let's be clear. He is buying a 10% interest in the channel. So he's not controlling nothing.
Mm.
He is not controlling anything with
even better.
10%. A 10% share. A 10% that gets you enough to vote as a shareholder. But that's not a controlling interest unless there are 58 other investors at that level, and I don't think that's the case with stars. So there's that.
Yeah.
Then there is the issue of, he recognizes the power of the media. Okay, so he's bought a bunch of or bought interest in a bunch of media operations. What has he done with them that has benefited us? Like we've been asking this question about the Target boycott. We've been asking this question about, entertainers and all this kind of stuff. We need to ask this question about these Black capitalists too.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing with their money, their investments, their entrepreneurship, their, whatever it is that they're building and investing in? How is what they are spending their money on that they're going to get a nice return on their investment on? How does that benefit us? What are they doing with it to make things better for us, to help us understand what's going on? But other than watching the same slop that we have been watching before, and now that slop is owned, 10% by a Black guy, what does that do for us?
I don't
Nothing. Nothing. That's like when
mean-
JC supposedly owned the Nets.
Yeah, his percentage.
And Black folks was like, yeah, it's like, and what is he? Like, it's a spectator sport. Like you spectate and like, oh my God, Byron Allen owns this. It's like he owns the Weather Channel at one. I think he still does. Did he start doing black weather?
I mean, he seemed like one of
other people all over the world. Did he focus in on Africa? Did he do anything? Even like little things? Nothing. Nothing.
He seemed like one of them black people that white people accepted him. Like black people, like you're kind of corny. We don't really fuck with you.
I
And white
said he
people were
was
like,
the Wayne Brady of his generation.
yeah. And he's like, yo, fuck that. I ain't doing black shit. Y'all don't like me no way. Look at y'all talk about me
don't
right
blame
now.
black people for that. Don't blame black. Don't throw that back on us. Right, don't throw that back on us. We ain't doing
No.
Y'all don't like me anyway.
He has a capitalist mentality. It's his dream come true. He got to make some money. He got to make some contacts. He gets to do press releases and says he owns this and owns that. People talk about him. He's living his happy, kind of a capitalist adjacent life. But he has nothing to do with black liberation, like, you know what I mean? Or black media. Like he's not, he's not black media. He just happens, he's the definition of, he just happens to be black. That's how he leads his life.
So Bob Johnson is the only other person we can really look at as have some type of control over media.
I mean, but again, look at what he did with it, though.
Yeah,
because I hate Bob Johnson.
Wow.
Hate.
Ouch, Jackie.
Hate that man. I hate because
please.
BET was ours. It was ours. And when BET started, BET was right over, the headquarters was right down here in DC, over in on the border. It was in Northeast DC. And the early programming of BET was full of amazing talk shows, news programs. The news programs on BET were amazing. They had community forums and discussions, not like Oprah type bullshit, but real discussions of, it was really cool. And yes, they absolutely highlighted our culture and our art. And it wasn't just hip hop and R&B, but it was also dance and theater. And BET started as, a representation of, or an outlet for the culture.
Teen Summit.
It really did. I mean, come on, that was BET. And then Bob Johnson saw the money to be made in what he called, I didn't say this, he said it, the booty shaker videos. All of the gangster rap and all that. And this is not my critique of the music. This is my critique of Bob Johnson and what he did with his platform, because he canceled every public affairs news program, cultural program on that channel, and filled the programming up with nothing but these videos. And when the community confronted him about this, and then he was interviewed in the Washington Post magazine, you can go look this up, it's in the archives. And he was asked, what do you say to the Black community about the canceling of the public affairs and cultural shows, and now the prevalence of all of these, gangster rap and seemingly exploitative kind of videos of women? What do you say to the community who don't want this and want the programming back, and they say they don't need this? And Bob Johnson's response was, well, that content makes money. And if we have to fill the channel with booty shaking videos, if we have to make money off of the booty shakers, I will. And that's what he did.
I'll tell you who's not a black capitalist. Kim Brown.
I thought you were going to say not a booty shaker, but I was like,
oh, no, she's a booty shaker. Put the go-go music on, you'll see.
That's funny.
Kim.
Oh, we getting on black capitalists? Is this what I walked into?
Talk about your boy Bob Johnson.
And black media and the lack thereof of it.
And Byron Allen.
What do you guys think about the Johnson & Johnson publishing empire out of Chicago, the Ebony and Jet? What purpose and function in a positive way do you think, or in a negative way do you think it served our communities when it was in high circulation? Every black household had Jet magazine, had either Ebony or Essence, or both, or all three.
Yeah, it was positive, I would think. People don't even read magazines now, I don't think.
Well, you didn't really read Jet. Jet was not a reading.
You read the little thing where the model was.
I was going to say like her her dimensions. That's what we read.
What she likes.
It was like right there
Hobbies.
her name, and it was like 36, 24, 36.
Right.
She-
We know what he
She
read.
likes to ski.
What was it? The beauty of the week? Or
Yes.
Beauty of
Yes,
the
it
Month of the
was.
Week?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, the Jet beauty of the week. But Jet brought current events into our house, into our households, things that were happening in the struggle for liberation and legislatively across the country. You know, in ways that our stuff wasn't being reported on the news. So that's how we learned about what was going on with the NAACP and the, you know, the Black Panther movement and that kind of thing. And that's kind of one of the ways we learned about a lot of our favorite Black celebrities too, because they got interviewed in Jet. So you learned about people who were in the industry and kind of the struggles that they were having in the industry. So I think Jet, I think I read Jet more than Essence. My grandmother had Jet. My mother probably had more Essence.
Yeah.
And that should let you know kind of
Your
the
mom was
difference in the
bougie,
content between the two.
Yeah. And big up, we can't forget Black Enterprise too. Go ahead, Kamal.
Oh, speaking
That
of
was
Black
later, though.
capitalists,
I would say
Jeez.
one thing about Jet that's more about me and back to the thing we were talking about, like in terms of like what Jet was for. I remember like in my horny, you know, my preteen horny years, I would like because Jet was just, it was like ubiquitous, right? It was just in the house. It was like 50 whatever little thing. So you know, I would open up to the model page, and then I basically have a beauty contest and do like lay them out like the top to 20, and like they would go on to the top 10 and the top 5, and I crown a winner kind of thing. That's how
I thought she was gonna say you laid them out on your bed, like
oh no, no, not that.
Yes,
But I will
yes,
say-
he did. Look at him. Yes, he did.
it's like, damn, you weren't supposed to tell him that.
Look, he's sweaty. His little red cheek.
You come home and be like, my beauties.
the models are like 80 years old now. They're like 95 years old. Yeah, but I was going to say quickly, like it was more important. Less important was the magazines of Jet, Essence, and Ebony. It was more important about the times when I got to read them in terms of they reflected in like the 70s and 80s was a time where we were close to radical imagination, organizing, movements, and so forth. And so that is when magazines and even local TV shows, like in New York, we had Like It Is, like they were pro-Black TV shows that highlighted movement and organizing and had people on talking about Black liberation and Black power, and our connection to Africa. And that, you know, those shows got put on the air because there was literally a Black movement that forced some of those shows on the air. Andrew knew that those were the type of shows in terms of interview shows that Black folks were listening to or watching. Gil Noble's Like It Is lasted for over 20 something years on Channel 7, ABC in New York. Somebody's mentioning Tony Brown's Journal. So all those shows came on during a particular period in our history. Once that movement was wiped out, again, it didn't go away. Once it was wiped out, then these magazines and all the things that were displayed, they also changed over. So you have in the 70s and 80s where magazines like Jet, Ebony, Essence, and stuff become far more interested in Black fashion, Black capitalism, Black celebrity, and the downgrading of anything movement related except for electoral politics. So, you know, I think you have a time too pre Jim Crow, where you have Black newspapers that were for Black audiences deep in struggle, right? And those were like telling us who was lynched, who, like, you know, what was happening in the community, what Black products to buy or whatever. They also threw in some bleaching products too, of course, but for the most part, they also tried to tell us about what was happening in the community and what the fights were. But I think until we get to a moment where movement is ascending, we're not going to see that, particularly in even with so-called Black mainstream media. And then lastly, I'll say the other thing that kept us going or kept folks going maybe a generation before me was that Black organizations had their own Black newspapers, right? So when you look at the Panthers and other groups, they had put out their own newspapers that they circulated, the Nation of Islam, that they circulated in the community. And those things became prominent in a place where people will go for information. We don't have that to that level these days, even online. So that's one of the things. So that's why for me, those magazines only mattered because the time period in which they were attempting to gain a Black audience was deep in Black struggle, and we don't have that right now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thanks
from the
to
leaflet.
Kalonji 93 that says you can access Jet and Ebony archives on Google Books for free. By the way, you can also get Negro Digest Black World on there too. Thank you so much. We should go check that out
All right.
because there were really like some of the I remember the edition of Jet that had the story of Emmett Till's funeral.
Mm.
And I remember like my grandmother sitting down and reading that with me and my little cousin, and just the tears, just crying, like, and her saying, I mean, my grandmother, just extremely holy woman, you know, she's just sitting there just crying, almost wailing, like, Lord, we got it hard down here, Lord. We got it hard down here, Lord.
Yeah, I
That's
mean that was our social media, and now where do we go to look for that on social media where we're not getting trapped in the algorithms of buzz? I don't know.
Community movement
here,
builders,
Ah,
Black Agenda
talk
Report,
that. Tell them I tried to
right
shut it
here.
down.
Hood
Let's see.
Communists.
Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Keep going.
Real
Black
quick.
Agenda Report, you know.
Oh, didn't
Yeah.
I say it? Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all can't hear me. Real
Oh, I'm
quick.
sorry.
Come out. I want if you could speak briefly about the passing of Bob Law out of New York, because he, with the time period of which he came to prominence and had an audience with on the radio. Obviously everybody wasn't nationally known figures. We didn't get the Bob Law program down here in DC, but I understand that he was pretty much a tower, like a giant, if I'm overstating that or understating that. Could you talk about who he
Yeah, there was
was?
the time period where he was like the go-to people for information were these folks. And in our mind, like you just mentioned this, I think each city or each area had their own people who sort of like had that function, because radio at that time and local TV stations, these things weren't syndicated or whatever. But for learning about what was happening in the Black community, even what rally to go to, debates about what was happening within the community, again with a radical framework sometimes, or making sure that there was guests who were left of center who could talk about self-determination in community. I think there was a period where he kind of like, I won't say controlled the airways, but he was the go-to person, and he was at rallies, he was at demos, he was out in the public. So his loss, and again, him and people like Gil Noble, there was this time period where they were the media folks that when you wanted to know what was happening in community, that's where you turned. You didn't go to ABC, you didn't go to Channel 7 News, you didn't go to Channel 2 News in New York or Channel 4. No, that was like general mainstream stuff, right? That you wanted to know what was going on, or you wanted to know the deeper side of the story, or you wanted to hear the family of the victim of police violence. They'd be on Bob Law, right? You wouldn't get that in mainstream news. So that was like that was one of the go-to people for a time period that made, again, that was sort of this remnant of 1960s, 70s that made movement come alive, or made you think about what was happening in your community and what your role was in your community. What should you be doing? Why ain't you going? There's a rally at 3 o'clock at the slave. Why ain't you there? Right. So there was that was like a place for news and information and a way to get folks involved. And again, purposely so. I think local media and obviously national media has switched over, and they no longer have content like that for us. You got to search online and so forth, but that content is not there anymore. And these folks who dedicated their lives, not to necessarily making as much money as they could, but spreading this information. And what could they, and some of them were deeply involved in community organizing or activities that, at least from their vantage point, like we might all agree with everything they did, because some of it was Black entrepreneurship, but things that were relevant for the Black community and or folks who are accountable and were there. So it's a great loss in terms of a type of figure that that he represented. That again, I don't think we really have replaced and or sought to replace and or again has been beaten down, so that we don't even think that we need that kind of replacement.
All right. R.I.P. to Bob Law, and big up to all those people that are using their platform for us and liberation. All right, let's go ahead and take our first break, and then we're gonna get into some news right here on No Other Than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Let's do it like this, y'all.
Jerusalem, it's illusion, using fake pseudonym. I'm true bad. Mind travels like a schizo on 2 tabs with do-rags hanging from my pockets. Need a rap to go back to pediatrics. Early less rappers like you with straight facts. So recognize, I make a nigga eyes come alive off of 525s. Got the camouflage. I shoot a virus out my spiral. The mad price, to take a mad tight. Wetted in the reservoir, lurking in the bushes, striking blows like Chesimar, codename Hasana. Warming in a bomber, hotter than the region of Ghana. Get loot like that Trump that's like Bonner. Now, we'll be writing rhymes on the house and my plans is keys to the ones that don't want.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to the year of 2000. We talk about with the sister Rod Digger, straight out of Jersey, baby, off that album Dirty Harriet. The name of that song is Tight. Yes, so hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. Donate where at blkliberationmedia.org. Yes, show your love, go get some merch and rock out with us so we can always make sure we got media. If it's not a Jet, if it's not an Ebony, if it's not that, then it's going to be right here on Black Liberation Media, y'all. All right, with that said, let's get back to it. Yes.
That was nice.
I like her. Yeah.
Yeah, Rod Digger is that girl.
Dirty
Right.
Harriet.
Yes. First lady of Flip Mode Squad. We will have at the top of the hour hip hop story, so we'll see you back there.
Oh, nice.
Who we doing today on hip hop? Give us a little teaser.
Where he go? What?
You will have to tune in. Won't you?
You have
People saying hip hop. Yeah, me and Minister.
Oh no.
Our show.
Hey, thank you so much, Anonymous Grasshopper 4396 for the $20 sticky. I appreciate this show. Thank you, Anonymous Grasshopper says. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Very much appreciated. Deeply appreciated. Hey, Doctor, let's 2-step into the news, shall we?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Peace and good morning. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show, the Thursday edition, exclusively here on Black Liberation Media, your number one source for Negro news and information and liberation on your station for your nation. Hit the buttons. Yeah. Don't be bluffing.
Come swear you could have been
scrubbing. Oh, that's cute. No, someone would have had the ghost written for me, and then I would have felt like a fraud.
Not only with the rap, the media personality. You still can.
Yeah.
You just got to sell out a little bit. You just got to sell out a little bit.
No. I mean, when I look at the level of selling out, I'm like,
Yeah, okay. You got to sell it a lot, but still,
Yeah,
it's there
that's
for you. It's there for you. It's there for you.
well, you know about I don't even know how to introduce this. I don't. So I'm just I was hoping the picture would come up actually. But we all know, I think, about Christy Noam and her cross-dressing. I'm not sure. Bondage, beating. It's not bondage. I'm not sure what it is,
Hold
but
on, real quick. Jackie couldn't wait. I didn't even introduce the people. Jackie said, "Y'all got to
mm,
see this fake titty story on Christy Noam's
yes,
husband
right
immediately."
now. Yes. There was a pause
No,
in the
give a
discussion.
background.
I'm
I don't
like,
know
what are we
anything
doing?
about this.
Okay.
I don't know anything about this. Can you give a
Real
little
quick, I'm
background
gonna
on
let
what the
Jackie
hell
get
is
into
about
the
to happen
story.
here?
So Christy Nome apparently did she release it herself? She released a statement to, or the Daily Mail reported a story that her husband, Christy Nome husband, has been showing up in different chat rooms wearing a chest plate of double D knockers with hot pants, and
Yes.
this is what
So
he enjoys doing.
yeah, yeah. Now, and I apologize. I really did. Y'all stopped talking. I'm like, okay, let's get into the story. So that's just because dead air, we can't tolerate that. But apparently, somebody that knows him in this life, leaked this story, and leaked a picture of the picture that we all saw, and I was hoping that the picture came. Where is it?
Is that the
Oh,
husband?
yeah, that's the husband.
And
Brian.
Yes. Oh man,
in
the
his
picture
everyday
doesn't come
attire.
up. But the picture is of him, of the husband, with the prosthetic breasts. And the prosthetic breasts are ginormous. They are like, oh, size K, L, M, all rolled into one. The cups, just enormous. And they're crooked. But but so now the woman who is a part of this administration that is criminalizing the existence of trans people, um punishing queer people, taking away people's rights because of their gender, their sexual orientation, their identification as her husband. But this is the same woman who has cheated on her husband and is cheating on her husband right now. So these folks are just, so everything about these people is I think being exposed. The images of Christy Noam's husband were allegedly part of a trove of hundreds of emails, of messages sent between Noam's husband Byron and three women obtained by the Daily Mail. The father of three appeared to be pictured in hot pink underwear, wearing a skin-colored shirt with large faux breasts worn underneath. The New
Yeah, I just
York
put it
Post.
up.
Huh? Did you? Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
I couldn't resist. I was like, well, I cannot not put that up there.
Well, hold on. I mean, does that make
Yep.
him gay though? I'm just
No,
kidding.
and that's
You know,
and if that's his thing, good
That's his
on
thing.
him.
Yeah.
Great. If that's his thing, that's wonderful. He is not the problem. Well, let me not say that. It's not that he isn't the problem, because he married that heifer, and he knew who she was when he married that heifer, and he also knew who he was when he married her.
I'd
So
be curious if he has prior public comments about
Yeah,
LGBTQ and trans
yeah,
people, if he has
yeah.
ever
So
come out and been virulently
yeah.
anti-trans or anti-LGBTQ, because that's usually how it goes. Like the
yeah.
loudest
Mhm.
homophobes are the
Right. Are
gayest
themselves.
behind closed
Yeah.
doors.
Yeah, yeah. So he knew who he was. He also knew who she was when he married her, and he went along with it anyway. And okay, so I take that back. It is his fault. But my focus is on Kristi Noem, because see, he's not setting policy, she is, right? And the policy she is supporting and helping to push are punishing people who are queer, who are trans, who are different in some way. But you have and this idea that, oh, now she wants privacy. She wanted a list. She wanted DHS to have a list of every person who is an immigrant in this country. She wanted that from the states. But now she wants privacy. She didn't want anybody to have privacy when she and DHS were kidnapping people. They wanted a list of people to kidnap and detain and put in concentration camps. But now that this has come out about her husband, now she wants privacy. And the interesting thing is, when we were talking about her cheating on her husband on the DHS plane, because there's a whole bedroom on the plane that she and Corey Lewandowski were sharing. She didn't want any privacy when folks were talking about that. She didn't want any privacy when folks were talking about the other dude she cheated on her husband with. But now that the pictures of her husband coming out as a cross-dresser have exposed, now her personal hypocrisy has been shattered. It's just been exposed. And now she wants privacy. Oh no, don't give her an inch of privacy. Show up outside their house with pictures and placards and billboards of them knockers every day. So every time they look out the window, open that door, you see them titties on that man.
What they
And
say
it
out
would
up
put
Colorado?
him on a list then. Heifer. Ugh.
Where they live up Colorado, somewhere uptown. Nice houses. Georgetown,
Man.
maybe.
No. No, the thing is that they hold themselves up to be these bastions of monogamous male female couples with, like, and they're the ones with these principles, and they're full whatever, and like everybody and anybody, they got private lives. But why be hypocrites about it? Why not? Why bring out these so-called conservative family values and speak about yourself in these ways when you're not living that life? Like, either shut up or change your politics to what they really represent. You can't be pushing all of this just hopefully not just for a job, not just for the notoriety, because it is going to come back on you, right? I'm not sure who would think that somehow he was in this day and age that you were going to not somehow be revealed in this day and age. So, like, why put yourself in that situation? Just be who you are. I remember when Glenn Greenwald, like his phone was hacked, and pictures of him in his private life, dressing up or whatever, cross-dressing, I guess, as they would say. And at the very least, it was like, that's my private life. And I've never, like, I'm not showing you my pictures, but I'm also not out here telling you this is how you need to live your life. And I have the keys to how you're supposed to do that or do this or whatever like that. So his scandal was never a scandal, but their scandal should be one, because these are people who are, it's not about his fantasies or whatever he's doing, as long as, of course, they're legal and everything like that, or they're not hurting anybody. It's not about him carrying that out. It's about the fact that these people live very hypocritical lives, as in they're telling everybody else in this country and around the world not only how to live, where they can live, who's acceptable, what's acceptable, what nationalities are acceptable to be in the country, and how they have a right basically to tear people's lives apart. And then this comes out, right? So no sympathy, you know what I mean? Like, again, like, definitely not putting that up because although it did look weird, that because he didn't have a right to do what he wants to do in terms of whoever he wants to do it with. It's more about the fact that while doing that, they're also telling other people to live a certain kind of life, and she was literally responsible for people's death, literally responsible for breaking up families, literally responsible for devastating people's lives. So, I don't have a lot of sympathy in terms of this, whatever this fake scandal is, because these are people who brought it on themselves in terms of their own hypocrisy.
I'm thinking about the trans folks in Kansas right now who are having to go to the DMV and get their licenses changed to their assigned gender at birth or else be criminalized, right? They are revoking trans people's licenses. And the wild part is, how does the state know which people's licenses to revoke or which people to target? Because they are putting these people on lists. And I think there is a bill pending right now in Tennessee in their state legislature. Chat always chime in here if I got that right or wrong, but proposing something similar, that trans people have to identify as mandated by the state as their assigned gender at birth. And it's a scary time because historically, when certain groups get put on lists, it doesn't portend well for those groups, right? And to what end this administration is really trying to either put trans people in jail, or are they trying to set them up to what like the Israelis just did in the Knesset, voting for to execute and for the death penalty for only Palestinians and never Israelis? Like, to think that trans people could be targeted in that way is not really a stretch, right? They're going to find a way to criminalize their mere existence. And we as a community can't be distracted and be like, well, that's that community. That's not our community. Bullshit. There's lots of overlap. There's lots of Black trans people. You understand? And if we don't stand up for them, if we don't take up for them, and I know that's not Kristi Noem's husband, but you understand, like he's going to get some scrutiny. He's going to get a little bit of public shaming, but nothing's going to happen to him, right? Like no one's going to come knocking at his door asking him why he is cross-dressing. But people who live openly as trans are at risk for that type of scrutiny and singling them out to bunch them off together for what type of punishment or what type of punitive thing, who really knows? But it's a scary time for our LGBTQ family. We shouldn't minimize what they're experiencing, but also realize that Kristi Noem's husband is going to have all the privilege in the world to rock his little fake knockers as much as he wants to, because I doubt he's going to stop doing that simply because he's been exposed.
Agreed. And I mean, I don't, like I said, if that's his thing, that's clearly his thing. Good on him. Fantastic. Good for him. Live your life. Live your life, baby. Go ahead. But stay out of other people's lives, though. Stay out of other people's lives. And, it will be interesting to see what happens to Noam, because it's not like she wasn't hated by people before she came over, because she's a puppy killing. She shot her own dog. The who was it? I think it was the Oglala Sioux banned her from the reservation. She cannot come on the reservation. They hate her so much. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to her after this. And I wish what's his name, Brian, whatever his name is, her husband. I wish I wish him well and grow a spine and become a better person and live your life and get away from these conservatives, because they don't like you either, man. So
isn't it interesting? There used to be a point in time where an extramarital affair would capsize a political career. Talking about Noam's affair with Lewandowski, and that's not a thing anymore. He was cheating or she was cheating.
Was the governor of New York? Was it Spitzer?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, remember that was huge, and those were huge scandals at the time, like having affair. It was at one point where the media would hide affair, like JFK and folks. People don't like to say MLK, but particularly these politicians, JFK and his brother, where the media didn't cover that, right? It's sort of like there was a men's agreement that was not news, or that wouldn't be blowing up in their faces. And then we hit like the 80s or the 90s, and then it became kind of like gotcha moments and actually political career destroying moments for folks or whatever. Not only just having affairs, but then later on with the Me Too movement, like further allegations and stuff like that of like abusive behavior, which happened to Cuomo. And now we seem to be back in a stage where you can, and then, of course, I don't think cheating should necessarily X out your career or whatever like that. But we are back in a stage, and I think Kim talks about this a lot, about there's no real cancel culture, where even the idea of suffering a little bit of shame or something for not sort of living up to whatever you claim you were, like I think that's going too, whatever. Like, because now it's so much. Now it's almost like you can't keep up with some of the stories, and none of them make as much as huge news as they like. Again, the Elliot Spitzer thing was a showstopper. Everything in New York stopped. Like for him to do a press conference, basically to resign, it was almost like there's a boot, like they were following him from his home and to him coming to the thing. Literally hundreds, if not thousands, of media packed in there for this moment of like this dude resigning because I think he was caught with prostitutes, right? If I'm not mistaken, he was a client of such and such. Yeah.
I mean, do you all think? Where do you all think the pivot happened? Because I think it was Bill Clinton, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think because the first thing I thought was, well, not the first, but as you all were talking, I was thinking, well, look at who's in the White House. I mean, of course, extramarital affairs are not like a deal breaker to any of these people. But then I kind of thought, wait a minute, it didn't start with him though. Where did it start? Oh, I did not have sex with that woman. And then there was a whole national conversation about what sex is, or is it? That blew my mind. Like, are we really having a conversation on news shows about whether let me use the proper word so we don't get in trouble, fellatio is sex or not? That remember that was the and that was, people were talking about it on the news, and I'm just sitting there like, did nobody take biology in school? Is it me? What the? Why is this a?
I think you're right, because prior to Clinton, it was all just if you were the president, you had your way. I mean, in all areas. I think he came out at that time period where like scandal, whatever, and he also survived his scandal, right? He did not. Although again, even later on, people did. Bill, I mean, it's a remarkable politician and or feat in which he's accomplished, and Hillary Clinton at the same time. That they have never been beaten out of public life, no matter what. It's like the Teflon folks, like they are definitely Teflon. They've never been sort of beaten back out of public life, no matter what. And she has never decided that she needs to leave him, which again, who knows what their actual arrangement, what she might just be more mad because it's exposed as opposed to the fact that he did it, because it feels like their arrangement was something that was expected, since his runs for governor, because part of the allegations is that he has a black kid someplace, or he had affairs with multiple women and had kids out of whatever. So there's a lot of all of these allegations, which have never seemingly have not harmed their careers and or their ability to stay, quote unquote, respected and to continue to make lots and lots of money. Speaking of somebody who's not making lots and lots of money.
Whoa. All in this man's pockets.
No, he's right. I mean, he's right. That's why I'm here. Do what I can do when I can do it. But listen, Jackie, I got an answer to that question.
Oh Lord, what?
An appetizer is not an entree, although it's part of the dinner. Fellatio.
Jesus.
Oh, I was not sure where he was going with that.
Yes.
I did.
An appetizer is not an entree, but it is part of the dinner.
Am enraged. Go away.
You agree?
Go away. The both of you. Go away.
Okay, can I do another secret mail thing before we go then?
After Shahid, you shut up.
Oh,
One
shut.
more, okay, one more secret male thing that, of course, I think we all do. Like you know, when you count at a certain age, you count how many
Mm-hmm.
like you've actually.
Yeah,
And
how many you
I
do it?
don't put on anything other than
You don't add.
I don't add
Oh, if
the
it's not.
appetizers. I don't add
Okay.
appetizers.
Okay. How many dinners you had?
No.
Oh,
Yeah. You
there's been
don't.
a few dinners, but
Yeah.
I don't count appetizers.
Nah. Just.
Ladies, do you count appetizers in your like? If
Oh,
some
see,
dude,
they
you
never
get-
talk about it. They got so many
Okay,
skeletons in their
okay.
closet, boy. Anyway, let's get to some more news and some other stuff right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Boy, you get it all right here, Minister Server. You get it all right
Man,
here.
the level of debauchery on this show today, I'm like Jackie and Kim. I am outraged.
I'm grabbing your pearls.
You know what I'm saying? Peace
What's
and
good,
love,
brother?
People. Everything is good, brother. Peace and love. Glad to be here for and this is episode number 15 for Hip Hopsery.
What?
I was like, well, yeah. I was like, wow, okay, we're
Hey,
doing
man,
it
we
now.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about today, my
Well,
friend?
listen, as again with hip hop, we want to make sure that we're talking about all the different elements of the culture. So today we are going to talk about Theodore Livingston, known to the world as Grandmaster Theodore. Yes, Grandmaster Theodore. He is a legendary hip hop DJ from the Bronx, New York.
Grand Wizard Theodore.
Who I say, Grandmaster? Excuse me,
Yeah.
Grand Wizard Theodore. Thank you,
There
brother.
we go.
Grand
Okay.
Wizard Theodore. He is a legendary DJ from the Bronx, New York. He is widely credited with the founder of scratching. Now, him and Flash are going back years and years, but the story that he tells about the vintage scratching is the story that we as a culture run with. And the way the story goes around, he was about 12 or 13, and he was Flash's protege. So he was following around Flash. He had a brother named Mean Gene, who was part of the early crew as well. But he was in his room one day practicing, and his mom came up there and was fussing at him about the loud music. So he stopped the music and just had it in his headphones, and then was just kind of moving it back and forth. And he started hearing a little wiggle. So he started practicing that, and that's how we got the scratch. Now, Grandmaster Flash said that he was doing it before it and all that. We don't really know, but we credit Grand Wizard Theodore as the founder of scratching, not Grandmaster Flash. Even though Flash is the one that took it to the next level, it's Grand Wizard Theodore who was his protege. He also was one to develop the needle dropping method, where it would go to certain spots on a record and things of that nature. He's an innovator in DJing. Of course, he was also the DJ, for those that may not know, for the Fantastic Romantics crew, who, if you see the movie Wild Side, that's who was battling Cold Crush, the Fantastic Romantics. And what people also may not know is that he was inducted into the Rock and Roll, Grand Wizard Theodore was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1998. 1998. So for those that may not know about Grand Wizard Theodore, definitely check him out. He does a lot of exhibitions, and he still teaches around the world with scratching. Even though he didn't found Scratch Academy, he does a lot of work with Scratch Academy as well. And he is a true example of living hip hopstery. Question, ear doctor. Matter of fact,
sir.
when we come on, I want to ask the crew a question about DJ, and I'm sure you probably know because you're a DJ. So I'm gonna wait and ask the crew.
Well, let's do that and get back to
Big up to Grand Wizard Theodore for
Big
being a
up
true example of hip hopstery. Word.
Let's get back to it. Oh, I forgot this.
When you lying.
Yeah.
Little scratch.
Big up my sisters. How you all doing, first and foremost?
Peace, Minister Server. How you feel?
I am feeling amazing. And to the hip hop resident scholar, glad to have you back, Mr. Kamal Kirk Franklin.
Oh shit.
Grand Wizard. I also went by the title Grand Wizard.
You know what? I was going to ask you. I'm sure you were
The Black Ku Klux Klan. That's what
You're a doctor. I appreciate that, because that was a question I had for Minister Server. Minister Server. Now, the first time we've ever heard the term Grand Wizard, it was in reference to a clan higher up. How did hip hop assume and I guess gank that moniker of Grand Wizard? How and why?
Yeah, well, it's like the whole magical part, particularly in the early days of hip hop. You had the Grand Masters and all the magical names. And back during those times, I don't think we even knew about the Clan like that. It was more like the regular wizards as opposed to the Grand Wizard from the Clan. And what I love about hip hop, we take everything and make it ours. We don't care. We will take anything that we need and make it ours. Hip hop.
Part of the problem.
Hip hop gives you the ability to take subjects and objects and convert them into whatever we want. So, for example, before Grandmaster Flash and Grand Wizard Theodore, the turntable was a household appliance. Now it's a musical instrument. So hip hop always takes whatever it wants to do and makes it that. So, and the same thing with the name, self-identification is always one of the first things. So I'm sure it was like, fuck the Clan, we're gonna take this Grand Wizard and make it ours, and that's what we did.
So I do it words all the time.
Now listen, I had a question.
We know.
The first Grammy in hip hop. Does anyone know who got the first Grammy in hip hop?
It was
Blondie, wasn't
Jazzy
it?
Jeff and Fresh Prince, right?
No, they gave it to some white girl, Blondie.
No. Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince got the first. They were the first rappers, but actually it was Grand Mixer DXT with Herbie Hancock with Rocket. They won the first Grammy. Yeah. Big up to Grand Mixer DXT from the Bronx, one of my brothers. Yeah, so just a little hip hop story. So Kamal, back in
I think my answer is more accurate, but I'm gonna let you.
Who?
When Blondie, didn't they get Blondie for Rapture?
No. She didn't get
Stop.
And even if she did, cut that shit out.
Like, no.
Kamal, you ready to lose your status as a hip hop expert?
My bad. Okay, let me ask you a hip hop question.
God,
All right. Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Do you count appetizers as dinners?
No.
Please don't, Minister Servant. Don't do it.
That was a hip hop question.
My celestial presence, I will not engage in that at all publicly. Private conversation should be private. We don't kiss and tell. In my era, I don't know what Kamal is talking about.
Thank you, Minister Server, for that hip hop story, and thank you for keeping it always true. All right.
Rapture didn't win the Grammy? Oh, okay.
First of all, the rap category didn't exist when Rapture was released.
That's true.
Yes, that's true.
But isn't it considered the first #1 rap song?
That was the big argument that people were saying that Blondie was a rap pioneer, and the Africans and the hip hop heads and the rappers was like, fuck you, motherfucker. No, she won't.
Perfectly said, Jackie, and that's the sentiment that we had and still have. Yes.
Yes. Big up to her and Tina Marie.
I mean,
Tina Marie is different.
What Blondie did do was point out like Fab Five Freddy and Grandmaster Flash and all that, but she was just trying to be down. She's not. I mean,
she's no Lady T.
I hear retrospect that she said they were happy that she did that or that she got because it helped bring them some more connection.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not trying to shit on her too much.
Just like Eminem.
I mean,
not exactly.
We love the allies, and Blondie is definitely a hip hop ally for sure.
Yeah, but we ain't say that about Lady T with Tina Marie. It was cool.
Tina Marie is different, B. She was playing way back. Tina Marie was like black folks, like automatic, like
and she stayed connected
to the barbecue and all that kind of shit. And she was all R&B. Nobody ever said anything. It's like her whiteness just never came up. You know what I mean? It's just like
partly
weird.
in part because white folks didn't claim her, right? Like,
right.
There it is.
Exactly.
Right. And nobody claimed that she was a pioneer of R&B. Whenever people talk about Tina Marie, whenever we talked about Tina Marie, it was always, she is the queen of blue-eyed soul, right? It wasn't, she is the pioneer of a black genre.
True.
We didn't do that.
Yeah.
Or she just was part of R&B or soul music, like, you know what I mean? With Rick James. I mean, Jesus.
Well, but in the
Rick James
context
don't
of
make
her
it black, who does?
dropping a verse, right? She was one of the earlier women, not the first, not even, I guess, the first white one, but the verse she dropped on Square Biz is a verse.
She had a great voice. Had right? She
wrote it too. And she wrote it too.
She wrote it too.
Yeah. Hey, but listen, Pride and Relieve it. If you're in the Atlanta area, this coming Saturday at the Auburn Avenue Research Library, Hip Hop Bridge Builders is doing one of our series called Classic Rap Videos and Convos, where we show videos just have regular conversation. And this month is Wu-Tang. So come through.
Ooh,
We're in
10.
Atlanta.
Ooh,
Okay.
Okay.
Well, the
I'm
baby.
coming through there, server, for real. For real.
Oh
I
man.
see you Saturday. Big up to Minister Server, Hip
No doubt.
Hopstery, and Hip
Appreciate
Hop Bridge
y'all.
Builders.
Thank you,
Peace.
Minister Server.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we were talking about women. I have a real hip hop question for y'all then, women artists.
Real quick, A-Rob, thank you for the $5. I'm
you,
DJing the
A-Rob.
Black Mothers March on Mother's Day in DC for Movement, Family, and Power Operation Stop. God, that's
Cool.
too long of a title. CPS, if folks will be around. Got you.
Nice.
Woo.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So, do you guys count appetizers as meals? No, my bad. Okay, I'll leave it alone. I'll stop. I wanted one more. Just one more. Right. I
They
thought it was a
don't.
good question.
They don't. They don't.
They do. I think they do.
They don't.
This is why we can't get ahead as a people. Okay? This is why we can't get ahead as a people. We take 2 steps forward.
And 18 and a half steps back. Damn it.
It always be some pretty Ricky ass taking us back.
Kamau's considered an hors d'oeuvre.
Full meal, B. Full meal. Full meal. Meals. Multiple meals. Multiple dinners in one night.
I now regret bringing up Bill Clinton. I am so
That's
sorry.
just why. I think this is
I
your
am
fault.
so sorry.
It's your fault.
And I didn't even bring him up as a joke. It was serious. I
This is
am
your fault.
mea
This is your fault.
culpa. I am sorry, y'all. I am sorry.
This is your fault. This is your fault. I agree.
Yes. The men take it off the rails and the women apologize. Isn't that
And that dude in particular, Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Jackie said she heard Abdus laughing. She told Abdus to be quiet.
Because that he been bothering me for weeks. It just you
got
got stuff
burn
to
a
do.
candle.
What you
Burn,
doing? You got
see
stuff to
what he
do.
want.
Go do this stuff. What you doing? Why you ain't doing nothing? Go do this stuff. You got stuff to do. Nigga, let me rest. Go hunt somebody else. Damn it.
Go on, Kamal. Abdus.
Yeah.
Kamal needs awakening in the middle of the night. Go visit him.
Leave me alone. I get my rest.
Leave me alone. Okay, what y'all got? What else y'all got for news? Y'all want to talk about Trump's speech?
Man,
Can you?
no. Are we? I feel like it's very unfair that we are being forced to live in Trump's delusion, right? Like, as much as he keeps talking like Iran is ready to negotiate, they're ready for a ceasefire. We've decimated them, and there's no evidence of either. and he's just allowed to continue ranting falsehoods and untruths. Again, nothing separate from his entire public life. That's exactly what he does. But like, everyone is being forced to adhere as though what he is saying is truthful and factual. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And I feel for people in this country who don't know that Israel is getting the absolute shit kicked out of it, right? And the fact that they are invading Lebanon to occupy it once again, and that some of our favorite youngins, the H groups from Yemen, have entered but there's shit happening. You understand? Like, U.S. military members are getting fucked up. Boats are being fucked up over there. But let the story in America tell it. We're winning. The war is practically won. We just gonna bomb for 2 more weeks, y'all. But it's over. We won. Don't worry about the gas. Y'all worried about little shit.
Yeah, you worried about the gas.
You worry about little shit. Iran is no longer a nuclear threat. That Americans are safe. That is the important takeaway here.
It's also like, it's hilarious to me that, again, all of this talk of the levels of propaganda. You can continually suggest that Iran had nuclear weapons or are about to get nuclear weapons, where the United States and Israel, right, are the proud owners of multiple nuclear weapons. But that's just in the world, the Western world controlled media, that's just a normalcy. Or there's no reason to be alarmed by that Israel has a nuclear weapon. No reason to talk about that, be alarmed by it, think of it as strange, think of it as a comparison note of like, but wait a minute, isn't Iran that signed the non-proliferation treaty abiding by it, and they don't have nuclear weapons? But the country that did not sign it and has it, there's no daily articles around like the Israel's nuclear weapons. What could be done with it? This, nothing at all. And so it's just considered to be normal, or it's made like it's a normative function that the West is allowed to have superior weapons, and anyone that tries to defend itself against the West. Remember, it was the United States that bombed Iran. It was the United States started the war. The United States is murdering Iranian citizens. The United States is bombing cultural sites, schools, hospitals, murdering kids. You wouldn't get that fact. You wouldn't think war crimes are being committed by the United States. It's an excursion. It's a minor blip for how the way this is covered. Again, if Iran invaded another nation or started dropping bombs on another nation, this would be covered as the rogue, crazy Iranian regime murdering people not only at home but overseas, and it must be stopped. But none of this coverage at all looks anything like reality. Not only in terms of Iran doing exactly what it needed to do to survive as a regime, the United States and Israel thought it could make quick hits, that it could take out its leadership, and that somehow the regime would fall. Instead, through all the pounding that Iran has taken, and it has taken, again, the air defenses it does not have, it has set up its own military strategy of closing the straits, of being able to have mobile rocket launchers and drones, and to be able to attack the neighboring Gulf states, which are all allowing United States and other Western nations to have military operations and bases on their land, but they're being used to bomb Iran, to make sure that those nations understand that if we suffer, you suffer. If our people are being killed, your people won't be safe. If our economy is suffering, you won't be able to sell oil. You won't be able to have a tourist economy. Your tall buildings, those things are perfectly aligned with drone warfare to be easy targets. So what Iran has done is survive the initial bombing raids by the United States and Israel, and now is in a position to say, no, we won't, because part of this is that Iran refuses to negotiate with the United States, because when it has negotiated, going back to, if we only go back to the Obama deal, made a deal with Obama, only to have Trump leave that deal. Twice has entered negotiations with Trump, only to be bombed during the negotiations. So what's happening here is I think the only reason people don't see it for what it is because it's the propaganda value that the West has instilled around how people should think about war, who has a right to wage war, and to murder people and not be called murderers.
Yeah, that is the propaganda around this is so complete, and I think it is, the level of completeness is something that I actually didn't really think about until I was reading earlier this morning. I like to read The Cradle and Al Mayadeen for information in that region, because I don't trust anybody else, and we shouldn't, right? Because U.S. media is completely owned by the Zionist entity now. So not only are we not being told the truth in U.S. corporate legacy media about what is really happening, that, as Kim said, Iran is kicking the U.S. and Israel's asses, along with the Houthis now are joining in. Hezbollah is fighting. All of this is happening, and we're not being told this. But here's what's very interesting that I didn't even consider. Can I swap this out, Kamal? Okay, thank you. So I read this morning, and I didn't even think about it. Even Trump is being lied to.
He must be. Is the only thing that makes sense.
I didn't even consider I don't know why I didn't consider that this man is not like watching the news like we watch the news. He's being advised on what's happening. So the Cradle says that Israel aligned officials supplied Trump with false intel on the scope of resistance axis attacks. And who's the intel? It's the Zionists, right? So they say that sources informed the Cradle on yesterday that an Israeli aligned current within the White House, led by Jared Kushner, has been supplying US President Donald Trump with manipulated information that downplays Iran's missile attack frequency and minimizes the casualties caused by Iraqi and Lebanese resistance strikes. Furthermore, leaked information from the U.S. National Security Council, or the NSC, indicates that over the past 72 hours, senior officials, including War Secretary Pete Hegseth and State Secretary Marco Rubio, have been steering Trump toward a broader escalation plan ahead of his speech last night. So that's why last night, instead of saying what a lot of people speculated he would say, that this is over, we've won and no, that's why he didn't say that last night, because he was told, no, we're gonna ramp this up. The misinformation operation allegedly also involves manipulated casualty numbers from the Israeli National Security Minister Itmar Ben-Gvir, the pig who celebrated the passing of the Palestinian detainee execution law. In recent comments made by him, Satan Yahoo, in Hebrew media, the sources indicate that as this escalation approaches, anti-war officials in the U.S., along with European and regional governments, have expressed fears that Iran may escalate to a devastating battle scenario based on the course of the 33-day war. This would involve destroying Saudi oil production infrastructure and Israel's electricity infrastructure. They've already done that. Followed by destabilizing and closing the Bab al-Mandab Strait, and ultimately withdrawing from the non-proliferation treaty. The sources said, oh, so now they're admitting that Iran was applying or following the non-proliferation treaty. Oh, now they were following it. Okay, yeah. So this is from the Cradle, and I'm going to drop this in the chat for you so you can read the rest of it. But I honestly did not consider that Trump is not watching. He's not like watching the news and getting his information the way we are, but he's also not being advised on the truth, because he's surrounded, number one, by a bunch of sycophants, which is why he fired all of the actual advisors in the Department of Defense, whatever you want to call it, who knew if we go to war with Iran, we lose. If they don't kill us all on day 1051, is definitely a reality. We'll never get out of there. But he fired all those people. And he's surrounded with people who are just telling him what he wants to hear. And that was like the baseline problem. Now it appears that he is straight up being lied to by the Zionists and folks like Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio, who really do want to nuke it on. They really do want to nuke because if y'all remember, and I'll end with this. Remember, after September 11th, when conservative talk radio was at its height, and I would listen to what's his name, the fat one. Yes, all these people calling into this man's show, and I mean every day, talking about why don't we just turn that region into a parking lot? Why don't we just nuke it and turn it into glass? And these people have been talking about doing that to the Middle East and all of the Muslims there for decades. So that was kind of shocking to me, but I'm not sure why it was shocking to me that Trump is saying the unhinged bullshit that he is about what's going on in Iran, not necessarily because he's stupid, but because he literally is being lied to, and he is repeating what he's being told, and that's messed up on a whole bunch of levels. But I don't know.
I'm just saying, looking at what's happening in Iran, it does not portend well for the U.S. military. I mean, the and the disinformation and misinformation campaign is really messing me up, because I'm like, I don't know what to believe. I know not to believe American media. I can't verify all the things that I'm seeing coming from other sources. Like, for example, I saw something this morning, again, chat unconfirmed on my end, but apparently the IRGC made a hit on a U.S. installation in Saudi Arabia. It killed a bunch of people, like, but apparently U.S. soldiers. But this Pentagon and this administration, this White House, this U.S. media apparatus is not going to report the things, right, accurately. They are not going to report American defeats. They have not reported why the USS Gerald Ford was taken out of the theater of war, and they claim that it was because of a laundry fire. Surely it wasn't because of a missile. Like, no, of course the most expensive aircraft carrier in the naval fleet didn't get hit by a missile. That's ridiculous. The laundry caught on fire, y'all, for a whole week.
It is messed up that they blamed incompetent sailors,
Man,
who
listen.
don't know how to do their laundry, or who don't know how, or who don't know how. And it's weird how they reported it, though, Kim, because they kind of reported it as if, like, oh, this is a terrible accident, what the hell are the soldiers doing? But they also made it sound like a mutiny, and it's like, I don't think you meant to do that. I don't think you meant to make it sound like the soldiers were intentionally like, no, let's fuck this shit up so we can leave. And they don't, I don't think they realized they did that, but because they said that, because they didn't want to admit that the aircraft carrier was bombed by Iran. And that's why it limped the hell back to the United States.
It's hilarious. Like, think about all of the incidents that have just been reported, right? The 6 soldiers on the refueling jet that went down in Iraq, right? The stealth fighter that got clipped over Iranian airspace, the soldiers killed in Saudi, like, but it's or the planes that got shot down over Kuwait because of friendly fire. It's like, I don't believe all of these are mistakes while Iran is in the middle of literally firing thousands of missiles or drones. You're telling me friendly fire? You're telling me a laundry fire? You're telling me, come on, knock it off. So, but it's the level in which they'll lie and play in our face. But to what end? To keep the American public on the side of the Trump administration in this fight? The polls don't indicate that. So all of this lying eventually to be revealed, we still don't know totally the extent of the damage to U.S. military bases, y'all. Iran could be literally changing what the Middle East looks like from the U.S. occupying all of these different, Arab monarchies. But if they're destroying all the U.S. military infrastructure, I think that's a huge deal, right? What does that look like?
It could be if it's reported, or it could be if it's talked about, but. Yeah, I mean, and again, and we know that these nations, these Gulf nations, have basically put a media ban, right, on, and they've arrested their own citizens anytime they've shown photos of drone damage by Iran on, in public life, on buildings, streets or cars, all that kind of stuff. They've basically put a ban on, and people have been threatened with and have been arrested, because they don't want the outside world to see the damage being done by Iran. And the claim is, as you say, anytime they say a drone was shot at them, usually the claim is that they've intercepted those drones, right? And that's what they want the world to believe, because they don't want the world to believe that they're within striking distance of Iran. And I think you are correct. Again, I'm not suggesting that I think Iran is winning this war. What I'm suggesting in my own analysis, that Iran has not only survived, but has also shown the capability to strike back. And that alone, and it doesn't take Iran winning to basically win the war. Like when people look at the Vietnam War, and they count up the amount of people who were murdered or killed in terms of who died, I guess, in the wars, by any or how many bombs were dropped, and how much infrastructure was damaged. So by any measure, you would say that the U.S. Caused much more damage to Vietnamese society than what Vietnam could do to the United States, because Vietnam didn't have the capability of lobbing missiles in America, right? But no one could say that the Vietnamese lost that war, because not only were they able to survive, but they were able to do damage to their enemies, and their enemies could not win a ground game or a ground war with troops on the ground. And that same thing holds today, where there's all this talk of putting, and now there's also this talk of putting ground troops around certain places. Those people will become cannon fodder for drones and Iranian missiles, and they will be in striking distance. And I do agree. I think that's the place where they're trying to get like a Trump to go, a Trump who is, um, uh, who has these views anyway. Like I think he does have these very conservative views, but he's stupid. And so, in my opinion, and so his articulation of these conservative views are not what the people who are sort of like, putting the information in front of him would show or say. But I think there's a lot of them who are trying to get him to actually go into Iran and truly overthrow the regime. And I think there are mixed messages happening in administration where he's trying to suggest, oh, we've already overthrown the regime. This is like the third regime. We've done this, so we've done that kind of thing. Because I think they are looking for, I think there's some competing interests in which they're also looking for a way out, but also looking to put, create as much damage to Iranian infrastructure as possible, right? Whether or not I have serious doubts that they would put boots on the ground in Iran proper, but there are some of the surrounding islands. I think there's a threat that they will try to take away some of Iran's oil industry, and then they're threatening overtly to destroy not only hospitals but plants, the sanitation plants, and the rest of it, energy grids, and so I think that stuff is still at play. But there will be no major boots on the ground, and this war will probably end sooner rather than later, because of what you guys just talked about too, in terms of the oil prices with the elections coming up, the oil prices, the stock market, allies and others who are feeling the pain of these increased oil prices the way that the West is not, also will have a say in this too. So at some point, I think this is going to end obviously not in a U.S. victory, but for me, the sad part is that obviously that Iranians will be suffering from American destruction based purely on ego, not based on any need for war, not based on any imminent threat that Iran poses, but based on faulty intelligence or intelligence given, or this the desire of these white conservatives for decades now to want to invade Iran or destabilize Iran. And to claim that what I love, and I'll shut up after this, is when you read the media that they constantly say Iran has constantly been destabilizing the Middle East. Is like, where was that when they invaded Iraq or invaded Afghanistan, or when they overthrew their duly elected president to put the Shah? Was that when they were destabilizing? It is Iran that's destabilizing the Middle East. So all these crazy antics just to obviously to justify their war machine. But again, I don't think they were going to be able to defeat the regime, but I think they're going to cause a lot more pain.
Yeah, I agree, and I hope folks were able to read the open letter to the United States citizens. And of course, most people didn't get a chance to read it because you don't read media that's outside of U.S. media. So no, you didn't read it. The Iranian president, Masoud I've been trying to practice Pezeshkian. I think I got that right. Penned an open letter to American citizens, and I'm going to drop it in the chat for you all. So you can read it yourself. Not going to read it, but I just want you to see that they don't have a problem talking to us, with us. And in this letter, he does not make empty emotional appeals. You know what he does that is so brilliant? He talks about the history of the conflict between Iran and the US, specifically the conflict the US has had with Iran. He talks about the history of Iran and how they haven't invaded anybody in thousands of years. They've been minding their business. And the US has not wanted to just let them to leave them alone. So drop that link in the chat for you. Sorry it's so long and weird, but please read that open letter to American citizens from the Iranian president, and learn a little bit about how this got to be this point. Because yes, what this regime is doing is horrific, but if you understand that sanctions are an act of war, every US administration, Democrat and Republican, has been waging a type of war on Iran for decades. So I hope you all read that, and I hope it, you get something useful from it, because I think it's a really, really good letter.
Word. Real quick, guys, do you in part of Trump's speech, he was imploring the NATO allies, the European Union, he was imploring Europeans, y'all need to go down there and secure the strait. We don't even use that shit. Y'all need to go down there and get and secure it. We have done the heavy lifting. All you got to go down there is just show up and guard the strait. Easy peasy. And it looks as though, and I could be mistaken here, but are the bonds of pan-Europeanism fraying? I cannot wait. When we get off the air, I'm tuning into British media immediately, because I know it's a bunch of ogre Donald Trump has the audacity to tell us to sail our soldiers into harm's way for America's war.
I mean, he even threatened to leave NATO over it, right? I mean, this kind of rhetoric is like unheard of. Whether or not he's going to really do it or not. But I agree, like the fraying, the idea of that most of these nation states, I mean, they were mad at two things. One, they were mad at the war happened, but two, they were mad they weren't even consulted on the war, at least according to them, right? Like he didn't even care. He's like, they're like, what about us? I thought we were all friends. We were all part of this Western Empire together. And he's just kind of like, whatever. And then later on, he's like, yeah, that's not we don't care about the straits, because that's not where we get our oil from. So after claiming he's going to open them, and that's the back and forth thing about somebody like a Donald Trump is the last person in his ear. That is what he's going to say next, right? He is basically a pushable object to basically say whatever he gets next, from whoever is giving the analysis. And I think this analysis is again, I think it is, hey, you need to get out of here now. Let's claim victory and leave. And then the hawkish ones are more like, there's more damage to be done. You're this close to overthrowing the regime. If you only commit like a couple of 100,000 troops, we got this, right? And I do think that's coming mostly from Israel, which wants to have the free hand to continue to gobble up territory. Israel is fulfilling its dreams of a greater Israel as we speak, in terms of taking land, in terms of the West Bank, taking more land from Gaza, taking land in Syria, taking land in Lebanon. Obviously, the question is whether or not they'll be able to hold some of that land, particularly in Lebanon, because this is kind of how Hezbollah came to the forefront in the first place. Was the last time that the Israelis thought they could hold land in Lebanon. So I do think this is kind of like which faction of MAGA is talking in his ear. And these poll numbers, and again, for the Republicans, like you said, this was not a war that they sold to the American public. This was something that Donald Trump someone talking in his ear, and he's like, well, we did this in Venezuela to a degree. We can do this in Iran. People are telling me this will be easy. They're going to fall. we've already killed off some of their leaders before and had minimal responses, or they've telegraphed their responses to avoid a greater war. They're not going to they're not going to strike back at us. And Iran, which also feels like, particularly I would say the hardliners are feeling as if we have not done enough to show this beast, the American empire, that we will strike back, and we won't give you warnings, and we will do it, as Kim was saying, and we will just your infrastructure, your military infrastructure. It is not safe. Your personnel, if we die, you can also die, right? This is an act of war. You're literally bombing our cities. You've killed our leader. And what do you think? We're just going to fall and capitulate, right? Iran is not that kind of regime. This is a regime that's been in power for over 50 years now, in terms of building its infrastructure, its ways of having people being replaced, and its strategies, which is meant for the survival of its country, the survival of its homeland. And it's meant to be, again, a continual anti-imperialist, and not always maybe in the way that we defined our leftist politics, but it's been an anti-imperialist stronghold against Western slash Israeli takeover of Palestinian land, and controlling the greater economic outlook, despite the Gulf nations, the sellout Gulf nations, and despite the sellout nations of Jordan and Egypt and others.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget that the very people in the tangerine tantrum's ear, who are telling him that, oh, America is doing the thing in Iran, they're not telling him, apparently, that Israeli soldiers, the IOF, are like, no, y'all go in there. You send your troops in there. We gonna keep killing folks in Gaza. We gonna keep killing folks in the West Bank. We gonna ethnically cleanse the folks in Lebanon. We are not sending IOF soldiers into Iran. That they just said that, I think it was yesterday. So the idea of Americans dying for Israel, they mean it. They mean it. Just like we were saying when Russia finally responded to Ukraine's bullshit, and we were saying, look, the US will help Ukraine fight this war down to the last Ukrainian. This is the same situation. Only the people who will be dying for Israel are American soldiers. If they do what Trump and Hegseth are planning to do, which is to invade Karg Island, where the main oil refinery, I think it is, there. They ain't gonna never come off that island. They will not come off that island, because Iran has already mobilized 1 million. I don't think anybody really knows the size of Iran's army. Like, that's the thing. We kind of generally know that most of their defensive infrastructure is literally underground in tunnels, like missiles, everything. So, but we don't know the extent. But we do know that ever since the revolution, Iran has been preparing for this. So this is a mess. This is a
People have
mess.
to remember, it was Iran that helped support the Shia insurgents in Iraq, right? So think about that, right? Again, the Shia insurgents was supplied via Iran technology, which allowed for the pushing back again of U.S. soldiers on the ground to bases, to not be able to come out and walk the cities. Iran, with a population that is 3 times that of Iraq, with a landmass that's close to half of what the United States is, if not more. It is not a nation state that can be taken over by having people on the ground, by having Western soldiers on the ground and attacking it. And again, I think with the smart ones, the neocon smart ones, know that, and that's why they're okay with a bombing campaign from the sky, but do not want soldiers on the ground. But like you said, I completely agree with you. Israel does want the United States to put soldiers on the ground because it wants to feel as if it can continue to degrade Iran as a threat to its own expansion in the area. And so I agree. Like, I think that is being whispered in Trump's ear continually, that you're this close to overthrowing or toppling the regime. And I think that segment of his so-called advisors, I don't think they're going to win out, but I think they're constantly echoing. It's like, and probably playing the whole like ego game of like, you'll be the one to take down the regime of Iran. They're not that, don't let these other people scare you off. American firepower can do anything everywhere it wants or whatever. And you've seen the hesitancy because the report backs have shown that no, you don't win a war with an air campaign. And you've not degraded their capabilities of striking back the way that you've claimed to the public that you have. And they've literally closed down the straits, where again people have said estimated of up to 1/4 to 1/3 of the oil goes, destabilizing the world economy because of your foolishness.
Isn't that amazing? Just one person. I mean, I know it was a committee of unscrupulous folks, but geez, look how excellent Trump has capsized the global economy all by himself. Like it was a hotel casino on the Atlantic City Strip.
Like it was one of his casinos in Atlantic City.
Oh man. Did the Iranian president call for us to engage in regime change? I'm sure they did in the letter. Americans, why don't y'all do regime change?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And all that democracy talking, you're right. One man, one person, basically. All that, the so-called democracy, no Congress, no congressional approval. One man. He says, like, just do it because I said so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's and look, it's not like this kind of thinking is not just impacting Iran, because what else Kamal, did you have anything else? Kim, do you have anything else?
Not in particular, no.
Okay, because this dude, I'm sorry to subject y'all to this, but
and at the end of the day, I think that if there are people in Iran who now, given everything that's happened, are willing to move in a different direction for their country, that would be great. Imagine in Iran that instead of spending their wealth, billions of dollars supporting terrorists or weapons, had spent that money helping the people of Iran, you'd have a much different country.
Yo, and I just saw a clip of Trump this morning, and I don't know if it was recent or what, but Trump was like, America can't do daycare. We can't fund daycare. We've got all these wars. He said we can't fund daycare. The state should fund daycare.
Yes.
We're busy killing babies. Why are we funding?
Like, that was Marco Rubio talking about if Iran spent its money taking care of its people. This is the country, and that is the man who is blocking oil from an entire country, starving people, a country whose government has built guaranteed housing for working class and poor people in the country for free, completely government subsidized. Same thing with Venezuela, by the way. Countries that have universal health care for their citizens, countries that have government funded a primary education and highly subsidized, if not free, particularly in the case of Cuba, college education. We know that Cuba has the Elam Medical School with free. And this man in a country that where the president just said, we can't afford daycare. We can't pay for daycare and health care. We got to pay for these wars. What the hell is wrong with y'all? We got to kill people with your money. You want us to save your life with your money. Get the hell out of here. We got to use that money to kill these people over here. You've got to be kidding me.
It's always like the country does not understand, like there's no irony. Somehow, like Europeans don't understand irony, even at its most basic or simplistic level. The right to Declaration of Independence and say all men are created equal while you have people in bondage. It's like the irony is just like isn't it? Is that? It's like I don't know what you're talking about. What irony?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Hold on, related but not totally. You guys saw the White House said that Trump allowed Russians to sell oil to Cuba. I said, I'm sorry, you think Russia asked permission? Like, oh, Trump granted permission for this Russian oil to go to Cuba. Nigga, Russia didn't ask. They said, stop us. I dare you. And Trump was like, yeah, y'all can go ahead. It's like, nigga, Russia didn't ask no permission. That's their homies. That's their boys.
The captain of the Russian ship was like, they were like, Captain, should we signal? He's like, shut the fuck up. No.
Signal what?
We are not signaling a damn thing. No.
Do.
It's like they see the ship. Whenever they see the ship, what you signaling?
It's a Russian flag. You leave that one alone.
Anyway. So now, hopefully because of that, other countries will step up and move the US out of that area. Who knows, but Russia has set a precedent. So I'm hoping other countries follow, but again, as we're seeing, I think with this war on Iran, we are seeing the complicit Arab states. And we should be clear on these people now, the Jordanians and the Egyptians, and they're going to have to deal with their own people as well, because in some of these countries, I can't remember which country it is, but there at least maybe it was Pakistan, I'm not sure, but the people are like, why are you not helping Iran? And they're in the streets cussing out their government for not standing with Iran. So
Pakistan has a large minority Shia population in particular that are looking at this as what are we doing here? And they went and they did go after U.S. embassies and so forth. I mean, I'm still, I know this is not, part of me still wishes I wish we had a Soviet Union type overtly socialist large country that could support, because I think Russia is trying to do some things, China's trying to do some things, but they also feels like, to me, like they have their own concerns. They're playing it safe. They're trying not to destabilize, and I just don't like that right now. I just feel like there's so much more that these large nations, which would benefit from a downgrading of Western imperialism. And I'm not even quite sure what they would like. I'm not suggesting China should call out troops, but I remember maybe a couple of weeks ago when there was even in the United Nations, the Security Council vote around condemning the firing on the Gulf nations by Iran, and they abstained as opposed to vetoing. It's like, veto that. At the very least, you understand that the only reason Iran is shooting at these nations is because they're allowing the United States to shoot from the Gulf and to bomb Iran. So, these ideas that they are not, at least for me, outside looking in, just not enough is happening. Again, BRICS and all the rest of it. I want faster anti-imperialist and more overt institutions set up so that we can get some of this Western imperialism down faster.
Yeah, but like Rome, Rome took itself out. I mean, America is following the downfall of Rome almost to the T, is it not? Like lashing out in all these far off military, excursions or whatever Trump was to call it, but draining the treasury. What are they spending on this war? Is it $1 billion a day? Or something pretty close. Like, I mean, all of our climate catastrophes that we are dealing with on varying levels here in the United States, our crumbling infrastructure, our intentional failure to invest in its population. And I feel like China and Russia are playing a very strategic long game. I'm with you though. I wish they would, ante up and get it cracking a little bit quicker. But why expend your own capital when your enemy is literally taking themselves down, right? I think they just got to wait it out. They just got to play that longer game just a little bit. But I think as BRICS continues to emerge and the disinvestment from the U.S. petrodollar, I mean, when the U.S. currency collapses, it's game over. Like it's done, and that seems to be more of a greater possibility looming, maybe sooner than we would think. And I think then Russia and China will probably make their move, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, I think, while I think that, the first, let me say the UN is bullshit. The United Nations is just bullshit. Yeah. Who cares? Because what do they do? And while, yes, sometimes I do wish, when they abstained, on certain votes, I do wish, like, why don't you just vote no, but every time, and like I said before, every time they have done that, they've also released, a statement explaining why they abstained and explaining what their position is and that kind of thing. And then we look at Iran's response to those abstentions, and their response is just as measured as the abstentions are. Because, see, what we don't see is that China and Russia have been doing a lot to support all of those anti-aircraft missiles. They come from China. So China and Russia have been providing material support, but I absolutely understand. I absolutely understand the optics of repeatedly abstaining from a vote when it looks to us like, well, you don't have anything to lose, right? So why not just, and the world is in chaos anyway, and the empire is declining anyway, so why not just, but I
well, that was my smallest measure of like what they could be doing. Like I again, when the Palestinians were being massacred, it was Iran and the Houthis and Hezbollah that again put their people on the line. And I think during that time period, again, Russia could have done more to stop Israel from bombing Syria, that allowing them to bomb troop positioning or movement of Hezbollah and Iran on the ground. So I think there's ways in which that, again, I agree. I think they are, in their mind, they are playing a long game. But I think there's been a lot of blood that's been shed by other nations that Iran did not have to come to the defense of the Palestinians, right? They have political differences, they have religious differences, but in their anti-imperialist core, they came to the defense of and have continually come to the defense. And again, I'm not saying that I feel like Iran has done more for Russia in terms of providing drones for Russia's war into Ukraine than what I see. And I may be wrong about this. Like I'm open to it. Than what Russia has done. Russia was supposed to supply the air defense system for Iran for decades, and they did not set that up. So there's things that I'm just like, they could be doing more.
Sure.
More.
But you got to peep though, Kamal. I know you saw the story that the Iranians almost shot out of the sky is it the F-35 stealth bomber? It's like the first time like this joint's even ever been clipped. Right?
They were like, this shit ain't stealth. We see it.
I said, nigga, we started algebra. You think we're gonna go find this shit eventually? But Russia could have collaborated on that endeavor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. They sure could have. Big up to brother Jamil, sitting in 999. My dear RMS family, we are watching the fall and breakup of Old World of Evil. Thank you for speaking that. Strong.
Inshallah.
And yes, inshallah. And let's make sure we read this so A-Rob we don't got to send our money back to A-Rob. I'm DJing the Black Mothers March on Mother's Day in DC for Movement, Family, Power, and Operation Stop CPS if folks will be around. All right. Now we don't gotta send their money back. All right.
All right.
Listen, come out, stay around for a little bit afterwards. What we got coming up, Jackie, on Darker Than Blue?
I'll be there.
Okay. Hope y'all be there too. And that comes on Fridays at
5 p.m. And I may be bringing back Imprint of Imperialism. Perhaps.
Make sure y'all cop that book, Christian John Brown. What is it?
What? Jesus, can we not? Can we not mess it up though?
Christian John Brown. What was the other one?
First of all, right. First of all, that's redundant. But yes.
Word of
yes,
the day,
this
redundant.
is my book. You can pre-order We Need John Brown Christians. They keep changing this because this is the but it's embracing Christianity that confronts power. Drop it in the link for you.
I like your cover. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, Jacqueline.
Like it's a real book.
What did you call me?
Jacqueline. That's what it say at the
Not how
bottom.
you pronounce my name. No.
Jacqueline.
No.
Jacqueline.
Oh Jesus! Just stop trying.
I'm beginning to be redundant. All right.
Well, you drop the link in the chat for where we can get the book.
Did I put it in there?
No, I'm asking.
I didn't.
Can you do it? Yeah, even if you've already done it, just do it again, please. Again, and again and again.
I thought I did. But
can I say something real quick?
Yes, please.
Then you can go to Kim. I usually got much to say. So this great article, Grassroots Thinking. This is a hero of mine. Her name is Kai Lumumba Barrows. Oh, I thought I shared the screen. I didn't share the screen. Did I not share the screen?
No.
I forgot how to use one of these.
Colleen Barrows. Yes. Kai Barrows.
Yeah. We just did an oral history of Kari Lumumba Barrows, who is an organizer, activist, revolutionary, radical. She was in New York, artist. That's right. Thank you. She's an artist. She was in New York, particularly in the 90s and 2000s, and mentored a lot of us, including myself, in terms of organizing, student organization, students. A lot of us owe a lot of our practical knowledge and information sharing that we receive from Kai. She's a true revolutionary. We have started doing an oral history of her. And so I wanted to drop it in it. So I dropped a link in the chat. And the name of it is Black Power, Little Sister, Revolutionary and Artist Kai Lumumba Barrows on Growing Up in the Movement. She has such a great, interesting history, and it is not told. And I think it's time to tell the history of hers in a way that this really gets her name out there as somebody who's really been important to movement. So I'm also dropping that link in the chat. That's all I got.
Well, I got Ross Sings right here sending in $100. Great show as always. Thank you, Raj.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate that, Raj. We love that brown money. That brown money belong in some places of the world. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, y'all. We have to postpone CB today. That is my bad. Anyway, we got power people are coming over. They may have to cut my power during the program, and I would hate in the middle.
Never too much, never too much, never too much.
Yeah, we'll be doing Luther next week, but for now, I guess
finally y'all doing something who deserves to be done.
Whoa.
I'll stick around and do an April Showers mix here at 11 o'clock today. So
that's nice.
So what? It's like rain. Is that the theme? So it's like I can't stand the rain. Down.
I didn't put it together yet. I just did it 2 seconds ago after you was like, "Well, we ain't doing the show." I was like, "Well,"
I sent you a text this morning.
No, I know. I'm just saying, as in, I just threw that together.
Off improvisation.
Yeah. Whew, thank goodness we at the end.
Everybody loves them.
So yeah.
Ooh, Chubb Rock, Lost in the Storm.
Okay. All right. I want to blame the rain for this.
Everybody loves them.
Billy. Blame it on the rain. That's a jam. I don't
Blame it
know.
on the rain.
Disrespected
It's
me.
time to
Who's
get
got a
out of here.
jam? It was not
Right,
even.
but someone sung it. You feel me? Come out.
Somebody did sing it.
Big up to the,
Yes,
to the real
someone
singers.
sang it.
Yo,
Did they
make sure
ever
y'all
figure
tune.
out? I'm talking here, doctor. What's wrong with you?
Whoa.
Jesus. Did they ever figure out who were? You said you wanted me to come on. Now you get it. Now you get it. They never put out who sung the songs. Those songs.
I think I have to go back and look at that documentary because there've been a couple of documentaries done about them, especially since the brother committed suicide because of all of the horrible abuse they got after the scandal, which wasn't even their fault. It was the music industry garbage. But I'm not sure. I have to go look that up. I'm not
Milli
sure.
Vanilli had jams. I'm just saying they had jams. They were hit records for a reason. They were jams.
Speaking of Milli Vanilli and being fake, I'm about to go make me some eggs and some sausage.
Some fake ass eggs, some fake ass sausage.
Some soy eggs, some soy sausage.
Yes, exactly.
Cucumber sausage. What is it?
Boy, I tell you, boy, y'all got no class. Y'all like school on a Sunday. Anyway,
That's right. I'm a troglodyte.
That's without a C. All right. I am the ear doctor. Your main entree. That's Kim Brown. That's Kamal K. Franklin. And that's Jackie Luke.
Dessert now. Dessert.
Big up to all y'all appetizers and hors d'oeuvres out there. We out of here. The Remix Morning Show. Peace out. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.